Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Yesterday, the All Progressives Congress APC announced the date for the National Convention of the party, which is now, for sure, as we understand, the 26th of February 2022. Today, the party has released a schedule of activities leading to the convention. The party says it will receive the interim report of the National Reconciliation Committee on the 31st of January 2022 and conduct inauguration of the state executives on the 3rd of February 2022, while sales of forms to all aspirants vying for the national offices and the APC National Secretary will begin on the 14th of February 2022. So you can see some of these for you. You can check all the details out on Channels Television website. It's channelstv.com. So let's discuss this issue and so much about the state of affairs of the APC. I'm being joined now by the APC National Youth Leader and a member of the Caretaker Committee, Ismail Hamad, who is also a lawyer. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me, Sharon. By the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good to see you. Seeing you for the first time this year. Yeah. Now, it does look like, with all said and done, your party seems to have gotten his bearing together, because the PDP, for example, had said, you cannot even conduct a national convention.
Well, the PDP says a lot of things, and other critics and cynics say a lot of things. We've never lost our bearing, Sharon. In our meeting in December, we all agreed that in January we were going to set the date for the convention, which we all knew at that time was going to be in February, and we are going to release the schedule of activities. We are not going to be railroaded by people who are going to be speaking out of tongues or take us out of our set course. We knew exactly. I told you right here in the studio, and I told your colleagues, that this convention was going to hold in February.
When they said you lost your bearing, perhaps people were making reference to some of the things you said. 6 months for the Caretaker Committee was extended. Over a year now, the Caretaker Committee is in place. So
look at the
when
time.
they say you lost your bearing,
no,
when you have a temporary process of leadership over almost 2 years now down the line, I mean, there's signals for critics to say you lost your bearing.
No, you know, it's okay for people to criticize whatever they want to criticize and air their views. That's fine. But we've never lost our bearing. When we got appointed in June of 2020, I guess, it was in the middle of the pandemic. And then one of the reasons that we were appointed was to do our registration, which needed a lot of people to come out in the ward level and do a lot of registration. That took us to December of 2020, which was then extended. And you knew how the pandemic went on. And then we got to where we are. But here, we are finally here. February 26th is the date for convention.
For people who are going to vie for the national chairmanship of the party, where has it been zoned?
There's no issue of zoning. We have not discussed zoning yet. Zoning will be done at a later stage with all the critical stakeholders and organs of the party.
For the presidential primaries, a lot is happening.
We're talking about convention, we're talking about primaries?
Just a moment, because that is a major, it will determine also, because the allegation is that there seems to be some kind of sit-tight syndrome by members of the Caretaker Committee who have interest in the primaries, and there's a certain way they want it to go. These are some of the issues people have raised.
I blame some of this. I blame us for not communicating effectively as at when due. But there's nothing like that. There's no sit-tight syndrome. I know a lot of people, all the members of the Caretaker Committee were people of integrity, and they couldn't wait to hand over the assignment to other elected new leadership of the party.
So the convention will happen in Abuja, and it will be at the Eagle Square.
Well, we'll discuss venue, but for now, let's assume so.
But you understand that there might be an election on that day?
What election is that?
Some by-elections.
By-election is not going to stop a national convention.
Okay, because some other people are saying in your party that, look, you fixed it because you want to postpone it again because you know it will coincide with an election.
Let's watch and see. This date is sacrosanct. I can assure you of that.
Will this convention be able to effectively fix some of the crises, the controversies in your party?
What crises and controversies do we have?
You have more than 10 states where you have
we have challenges. We have challenges.
These are problems. These are crises.
Of course. But
if you don't have problems,
there is no one
you wouldn't
event.
send the senator.
There was no one event. No, reconciliation is not an event. It's a process in political family. There will never be a time where there will never be any issue in a political party as big as we are, as you know, as humongous as we are, and with government in our hands. There will be issues. People would like, and especially in the transition election, which this 2023 will be, there will be a lot of people that will say a lot of things that would have challenges here and there. We'll try to fix them. But it's not an event. It's not something that is going to happen in one fell swoop. It's something that's going to metastasize into the new leadership or whatever. It's a process that will continue.
If the president is from the Northwest, the President Muhammad Buhari,
If?
is from the, I mean, he's from the, he's not, no, I'm trying to build a scenario.
Okay, go ahead.
So if he's from the Northwest, and you rightly may not consider a national chairman from the same zone, is that the norm in your party?
Well, it has not ever happened where we have a national chairman and the president from the same zone. We have not had that before.
But there are possibilities now. If you are the way the people that we have seen that are come out to say they want to run for the national chairman of the party, there are people from similar zone from the president.
There is no law in this country that stops, you know, the president and the chairman of the zone coming from the same zone, but it has not happened in our party before.
Well, the spirit of federalism is that
that's
people,
right. So
people
that's
get, I mean, everybody gets
it has not happened before. Are you trying to force me to tell you where we are going to zone this? I told you it has not been discussed. I told you, just relax. I told you the last time we were talking.
I'm relaxed. I'm not the member of the party.
The last time we had a conversation, I told you we're going to have convention in February. Relax. We'll release the dates. We'll release the schedule of activities. We're here today. When we do the zoning, when the zoning happens, you get to hear about it again. There's nothing to be worried about.
The president has said that he will hold who is supporting for the presidency to his chest, because it's, in his own words, that if he says it now, the person is going to be eliminated.
I hope you know he means eliminated in terms of not elimination.
It depends on how anybody.
Those
are his words. It depends on how anybody interprets it.
He probably means that the person would be, you know, there'll be a lot of attacks on him. Political attacks, of course. That's what
technical elimination. That's probably what you're trying to infer.
Yes. So it wasn't like an elimination of an assassin. No, that's not what the president.
What is happening with Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
What do you mean? What's happening with him?
It does look like as soon as he made public that he wants to run for president, it does look like he just stirred up the process, and the atmosphere just got really stirred up. And he's really creating a lot. I mean, we are hearing now that the vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, might also be running. And the question people will be asking, does your party want to leave a legacy? From your own point of view, leaving a legacy or getting a fresh person, what do you think is best for your party?
What do you mean fresh person? Who is a fresh person? Every member of the progressive family, whoever wins the presidential election, is going to continue with the legacy of President Muhammadu Buhari. What do you mean a fresh person? As long as it's APC, we're fine with that.
I mean, when you say you are leaving a legacy or you are having some kind of continuation from someone who had worked on the team, of course, that is the...
Whatever President Muhammadu Buhari has done and is doing in the last 6-7 years of his administration, he is implementing the progressive mantra. And whoever succeeds him from the progressive family will largely continue with that mantra and the policies of the party. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Then kind of names that have been thrown up in your party.
I'm not an analyst, Sheon.
I'm not asking you to analyze.
I'm a leader.
Yeah, I'm asking
so you
cannot drag me
as a leader. Drag me into the conversations of aspirants.
Calm down. You are the one that is not calm now, Ismail. You need to calm down.
Oh, I am calm.
Like your VP will say, calm down. All right? So, I mean, we're having a conversation.
Right.
It's like a tea table conversation. So, the big question is the caliber of people that we're seeing in your party. They have a profile, intimidating profile.
Absolutely, and we love it.
But the question is whether your party still has that kind of following with the Nigerian people based on the promises you made and the performance of it thereof.
Every political party, and I'm being straight and honest here, like I've always been, every political party that have been in government for a while tends to have challenges with the electorate, naturally, all over the world is the practice. It is up to that political party and the spokespeople for that political party or government, as the case may be, to communicate effectively to the electorate what they have been able to achieve within the period upon which, within the tenure upon which they're in office. this is what we must do and remind Nigerians where we are coming from in terms of the real actual deliverables that this government has been able to achieve, and communicate it effectively using emotional intelligence, using languages that people understand, and be able to show the clear difference, so that all this false equivalency of comparison between us and PDP, for example, about what we received, what we had, what we saw when we came into government, what they have been able to do or not do, precisely with all the monies that they got, what they have not been able to achieve, and what we have been able to achieve incredibly in terms of infrastructural development and clear development, and what we have been able to spin off. And then you have, you know, His Excellency Governor Fayeshe, who left here, who it is easy for them to criticize President Muhammadu Buhari when we remember fully well that this is, when he was a governor, he took out a paid, you know, newspaper advert to say that the president wasn't even going to survive the, you know, 4 years or 8 years, because he says all kinds of things about him. So these are the kinds of people we deal with. But we have to remind the electorate, you know, what they have been able to receive. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years of having barrels of crude oil being sold at over $100 a barrel, $140 a barrel, and what they have been able to do with it, and what we have been able to achieve with what we have. And there is no government in recorded history in Nigeria that has been able to implement budget to do almost 80 to 90% like we have, like President Muhammad Buhari has. These are statistics. You can go and check it.
Let's wrap up quickly now. Two quick questions for you.
That's right.
One is whether or not your party is giving it a very deep thought and consideration for those who are agitating in some section of the country that they are not adequately or fairly treated in the scheme of things, politically speaking. Would your party, or is your party considering that in the manner in which you're thinking to zone presidency?
I told you, and I'm going to tell you again, the issue of zoning is matter for the leadership.
What I want to know is whether
party.
you are considering it. Is it part of the consideration of your party?
I'm sure it is. They will consider zoning at some point to make sure that the balance is okay. I'm sure they would do that. And talking about marginalization, we feel marginalized, the young people, as well. So
and what are you doing about it?
We're pushing. We're talking to our leaders to make sure that that doesn't happen. The women are having their conference. They had one yesterday. They had a session yesterday. They had one today. They're also talking about the same thing, about marginalization. But I can tell you that the young people feel more marginalized than the women do. So we're pushing.
On a final note, your party brought about this controversy on the electoral bill. The governors of your party were very vehement about the position on what they wanted.
I think that position was adopted by all the governors, irrespective of political parties.
Your party.
I remember Governor Otto, one of the greatest critics of President Muhammadu Buhari, congratulated him for not assenting to the bill. So it's all governors.
So what's your view? You're a lawyer. I'd like to get your position, the position of your party and your own view on...
And I told you, I think I was on this program, Sean, when I told you that I have a little bit of reservation of a government coming in by law to restrict the ability of political parties, you know, to choose their candidates by different methods. I thought as much as I personally love the idea of a direct primaries where everybody will feel included, but I just thought that having a law restricting political parties to a singular mode of electing or nominating candidates was a bit restrictive. And I've had experiences with direct primaries, and I know that it can be chaotic, and it can be, you know, it can be anybody's game. Anybody can just line up a lot of people in front of his house, take pictures, have some signatures signed, and take it to court, and everything just goes to court. So it can be chaotic. It is ideally the best way to nominate candidates, but it can be absolutely chaotic. In
30 seconds, if you can tell me this, because you represent the youth in your party, you speak for them. The question is that a lot of people are looking up to your party, up to this government, up to President Buhari, to leave a legacy of good elections. If you have the opportunity to speak, assuming the president is listening to you, what would you say to him in that respect? What are the young people yearning for?
President Muhammadu Buhari knows, and I've told him this several times, and he knows it, and he says it as well, and he believes it, that 70% of the people that were responsible in bringing him into office in 2015 were not born when he was head of state in 1983. So the future of young people was given to him. He has been able to lead this country creditably well. We want him to leave a legacy of deliberately opening and creating a bridge so that young people would be able to find a succor for themselves in our party, in the APC, and ultimately in government.
Ismail Ahmed is the national youth leader of the APC and a member of the caretaker committee. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, Chairman.
Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.